Even some people quote it. You tell them, they say, well, you can't eat pork. You don't eat pork? No, I don't eat no pork. It's God's dietary law. Oh, well, Peter quoted, Peter ate some pork in the Bible. I read that. Peter ate some pork. They don't even know where it is. They say, I don't know where it is, but see, Peter ate some pork. I said, first of all, it's in Acts the 10th chapter. Peter didn't eat no pork. He saw a vision. He didn't eat no pork. And we're going to see what happened. Go ahead.
On the morrow, as they went on their journey and drew nigh to the city, Peter went upon the housetop to pray about the 6th hour. And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they made ready, he fell into a trance.
Okay, now he was hungry, but go ahead.
And saw heaven open, and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet net at the four corners and let down to the earth, wherein all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creepy things, and fowls of the air.
Okay, now look, he saw, verse 10 shows he fell into a trance. In other words, he's seeing a vision, and he was hungry, so this is getting his attention. And all of a sudden, a great sheet fell in this trance from heaven of all manner of beasts. So obviously it's clean beasts and unclean beasts on there. But it's just a vision, first of all. It's not like it's some pork chops on the table or it's some hamburgers on the table, right? It's a vision, it's some beasts, right? He actually seeing animals, right? But go ahead. What verse you at? 13.
And there came a voice to him, rise, Peter, kill and eat.
See, now the voice told him, now he getting a voice from God coming out of nowhere. You know, if you hear a voice and you don't see nobody there and all of a sudden you hear a voice, you know that's going to get your attention, right? And you would be inclined to say, okay, whatever you say, right? So Peter heard a voice say, rise, Peter, kill and eat. But that showed you it wasn't nothing on the table that he about to eat anyway, right? It said kill and eat, so he got to kill it then eat it, right? Okay. So it's just a vision. But go ahead. What did Peter reply? Pay attention to that. Go ahead.
But Peter said, not so, Lord.
Now, you know, Peter really got to know what he's talking about. If a voice going to come out of nowhere and tell him, rise, Peter, kill and eat, he going to look, I don't know who that voice is, but I don't, not so. Now, that's something, ain't it? Voice come out the sky, tell you, rise, Peter, kill and eat. You turn around and say, not so. That means you really got to know you standing on something, don't you? Not so, Lord. He said, Lord, too. He wasn't even shy about it. Not so, Lord. I know this is a test or something. Not so, Lord. Go ahead.
For I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, Peter said, so he saw that sheep, he saw all them animals. He said, they got all kind of animals on this thing. And somebody telling me to rise, kill, and eat? No, I have never, ever eaten anything common or unclean. That means to this day, and it didn't change after this day, Peter was observing God's dietary law, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That means when Jesus explained that thing in Matthew 15, which was years prior to this day, that didn't change Peter's mind to make him think he can eat pork, did it? Like people that read it nowadays. See, they reading something into that Peter didn't even get out of it, aren't they? Because else Peter wouldn't have had no problem, right? You know, he got Jesus right there. He said, explain that parable. Jesus said, look, to eat with unwashed hands don't defile you. Peter walked away and knew what it was about. And it wasn't about you can eat pork and unclean stuff, was it? No. Or else he would not have made this statement, right? So he said, not so, Lord. I have never eaten anything common or unclean. Go ahead, verse 15.
And the voice spake unto him again the second time. What God hath cleansed, that call not thou common.
See, and that's what people, they want to harp on that voice. They say, that verse. What God hath cleansed, don't call common. And again, it don't have nothing to do with meat. God is getting Peter's attention because of Cornelius. So, and he used this to grab Peter's attention. What God hath cleansed, don't call common. And people are going to take it out of context. Go ahead.
This was done thrice. And the vessel was received up again into heaven.
See, but they repeated that thing 3 times. That's what thrice means. That means they said, they tried to get him again. Go ahead, Peter, rise, Peter, kill and eat. Well, he wasn't going to kill and eat none because it was a vision anyway. But yet and still they're giving him this message. Rise, Peter, kill and eat. He told them again, not so. So they kept going through this 3 times. Go ahead, then what happened?
Now, while Peter doubted in himself what this vision...
No, I'm sorry. Read 16 again. My fault. Go ahead.
This was done thrice, and the vessel was received up again into heaven.
Okay, so the bottom line is Peter didn't eat nothing, right?
Right.
It was just a vision. And all of a sudden, the vision was over. It went back to heaven. So I've heard people tell me, well, Peter ate some stuff. Now, he didn't eat nothing. It was a vision, and he refused to even consider eating it, didn't he? So then the vessel went back to heaven. The sheet of all the animals went on back. It was gone, in other words. Then what happened? What is Peter doing now? 17.
Now while Peter doubted in himself what this vision which he had seen should mean.
Oh, he didn't jump to no conclusion and go get him a pork chop. Let's go get some pork chops. He didn't jump to no conclusion like people have done nowadays. No, he's sitting there. Now, what in the world is God trying to show me now? It said, while Peter doubted himself what this vision which he had seen should mean, why he is doubting. See, we already know what it means because we read it from the beginning. At this point, Peter didn't know nothing about Cornelius. But we know already. Go ahead.
Behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made inquiry for Simon's house and stood before the gate.
See, why Peter doubted. See, the Lord set him up just right, just in time. He wondered, what is going on? What's this all about now? This is some new stuff. The Lord trying to show me something, but I don't know what it is and why he thinking them people knocking on the door. He still don't know yet. Go ahead.
And called and asked whether Simon, which was surnamed Peter, were lodged there.
Go ahead, 19.
While Peter thought on the vision, the Spirit said unto him, behold, 3 men seek thee.
Oh, now while he thinking on the vision, the Spirit didn't come to him and say, Peter, when you get a chance, get you one of them pork chops. They're so good. And try some catfish too, because you can eat it all now. Didn't tell him that, did it?
Nope.
The Spirit told him, behold, Peter, 3 men are looking for you. Go ahead. Verse 20.
Arise, therefore, and get thee down, and go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them.
See, he told them, 3 men looking for you. Go ahead and go down there and go with them. I am the one that sent them. You go with them. So now we got the gist of the vision. Skip down to verse 28. Let's make sure, because this is what came out of Peter's mouth when he got there. Go ahead.
And he said unto them.
When he got to Cornelius' house, because he went with the men like the angel told him. And when he got to his house, he tried to bow down and all. They said, man, don't bow down, but this is the deal here. Verse 28, go ahead.
Ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. But God hath showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean.
See, he said, God hath showed me not about pork chop and some catfish and some rabbit, all that unclean food. He said, God hath showed me not to call any man. Because that's the way Israel looked at the Italians and the Gentiles, period, that they didn't know about God. They was therefore unclean, and they wasn't going to deal with them. He said, it's unlawful for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation, but God hath showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean. See, he got the message from that vision, didn't he? And it didn't have nothing to do with changing God's dietary law. Let's go to 1 Timothy 4. This is one of the old favorites because this is where they get the term, just pray over it. All you got to do is pray over it. 1 Timothy 4. 1 Timothy 4, and we're going to pick it up at verse 4. 1 Timothy 4 and verse 4. Go ahead.
For every creature of God is good and nothing to be refused if it be received with thanksgiving.
See, this is what they like to read. They come in, they jump right into this and get those couple of verses. A lot of them, like I said, most of them don't know where it's at. I had to show them, but they like to quote them. For every creature of God is good, he said, and nothing to be refused if it be received with thanksgiving. That means if he's talking about just eating anything, period, that means we should eat some of our loved ones when they die. Because they are creatures. certain things, like I said,